All right. Welcome, everybody. A good day today. Problem solved. That was driving me crazy overnight. If you didn't see the video, it's a Kohler 6.75 engine, one of those newer engines. Had an issue. It ended up being fuel delivery. Changed the noodle filter that's in the fuel line, which is garbage, out for a Briggs white 75 micron filter. Works better than it ever did. James, how are you, pal? Yeah, that thing's purring like a kitten now. Even the owner said it never ran so good. I tell you, I've worked on half a dozen of those over the years, and I've never had an issue. I've never had to take that. The only time I have to take that filter out is when you change the gas tanks because they had recalls in the hospital. Uh-oh, what's going on, brother? Hopefully everything's okay. I've never had to take out those filters before, and except for changing a gas tank. But today it drove me crazy. So hope all is well, James. Prayers out to you, buddy. Uh-oh, that's not good. Hopefully you're pumped up on antibiotics and we'll shake that thing off pretty soon. Good thing we live at the time we live in where they have all kinds of antibiotics and stuff that could fight that. So, like I said, good day. Whenever you can fix something that drives you crazy, it's always a good day. So I still have a backlog of about 4 or 5 pieces of equipment. But other than that, nice to solve a problem, especially when you're up all night thinking about it, wondering what the heck can it be. So, and it was weird too, because the thing was hunting number one, which is fuel. But everyone's like, oh, the carb. I had the carb apart 3 times. The carb's clean. It's perfect. And then I said, wait a minute. I said, that little noodle filter in there, look at that thing. And it was kinked. It was actually twisted a little bit, a little kink in it. So when I took the fuel line off, I said, let me see how long it takes to dribble out into a container with and without that noodle filter. And it was like 3 times as fast without it. I was like, aha. So I just bought one of those Briggs filters yesterday, and I put one of those in, and perfect. So live and learn. It's how we find out things. Necessity is the mother of invention, and we solve problems by rattling our brains and just eliminating what's good, what's bad. And I won this day, so that's good one for me. Oh boy, yeah. I think Nikki chimed in too over there. I think you and Nikki are my biggest fans right now. Oh, crazy. It's funny. I actually lost a subscriber or two the other day. I was looking back and I was like, you know what? I don't care anymore. Now that I have this Chromebook and I don't have to worry about subscribers, it doesn't bother me. I just want to put content on that people can take advantage of, maybe learn something, maybe help them out. Because I'll be honest with you, if I saw a video that said it's hunting, change that filter, would have saved me a couple hours worth of work. So, anywho. Sound like you had a big party yesterday, James. Is that like a weekly thing or what? That was a lot of people you're talking about over there. You do that every week, pizza party? Sounds like fun. I come from a very small family, so I married into a fairly large family. But even so, the most people we have here at any one point, even for a party, maybe 20 or 30. But normally it's just me, the wife, my 2 daughters. So, and like I said, they're of the age now. One's going to be 26, one's going to be 20. So they're off doing their own thing too. So basically just mom and dad fending for ourselves. So they say empty nesters, but you know what? They know where the three square meals are a day. They know where the hot water in the shower is. They know where the bathroom is. They know where the clean clothes are. So they don't forget that no matter what age. 75. Wow. Wow. My house, I don't think it would even take that. I think my house is small. I got about 1,000 square feet, so it's a little ranch. It wouldn't, we'd have to have an outdoor party for something like that. But I've got my porch here that I love. It's my little cave, my little hideaway. It's 10 by 20. It's got all tongue and groove boards I put in. I cathedral the ceiling a little bit. I have my TV in here, my jukebox. So have some fun. I still am. I like 50s music, and so I have a 1950 Seeburg M100B jukebox. It was the first commercially available 45 RPM jukebox, 1951. I had one restored back in 86 when I was younger, sold it when I met my wife, and bought another one that needs restoration, but it works good. But I'm trying to flip the camera around so I could show you the jukebox. How do I do that? I'm trying to think. The Chromebook is nice, but I don't know how to flip the camera on it. Hold on, let me hit it. Hold on. Let me click on this camera and see if it... Camera, microphone allowed. Nope. Huh. I got to look up online to see how I change the camera from looking at me to looking at something else. I don't see any icons or anything on my screen. Wait a minute. What's over here? Nightlight, Bluetooth. Let me see. Nah. On my phone, I know how to do it, but I don't see how to do it. Oh, no. You know what? This doesn't have a facing camera. What am I talking about? It's not a phone. This is like a laptop, so the camera's facing me. There's no camera the other way. So, yeah, you know what I'll do? Let me turn it around. There you go. 1951 Seeburg M100B jukebox. And plays good. Have a good time with it. One of these days I'll restore it. But for now, you know, like listening to the old stuff, you know. But I even have a wall box. If you look on the wall, see that little chrome thing? A 3W1 wall box, like the kind you had in the diners back in the 50s. And it works too. It actually, if I hook up the wire and put the tube in the amp, it will work. I actually had it working years ago. So I like nostalgia stuff. 50s. I was always into the 50s stuff for some reason. I was always told I was born 30 years too late. Yeah. So anyhow, like I said, nostalgia rules. I love nostalgia. I love old things. So that's why I like fixing things. You know, bring something old back to life. It just feels good, and just I have fun with it. When an engine starts for the first time, that rush you get, it's like goosebumps. It's really cool. So, who else is here? It says 3 people. Don't be shy. Join in. Any questions, comments, suggestions? All donations gladly accepted. So, at the end of a successful repair day, even though it's Sunday, I'm happy. So, 60s and 70s. Yeah, I mean, I grew up 60s and 70s, but for some reason, when I was younger, I don't know, there used to be a radio show out in New York called Don K. Reed's Doo-Wop Shop. And when I was early teenager, I just used to love Sunday night from like 7 to 10. He'd play all the doo-wop stuff, and I loved it. I had a good time. Blue Lodge, welcome. Yeah, nothing like the old stuff. It's funny, though, back when I was a teenager, that's when the movie Grease came out, and disco and all that stuff, and now they call it oldies, and I'm like, oldies? It's like, that's not old, but it is. Hard rock and classic rock, they call it now, Aerosmith and stuff like that. I tell you, it makes you feel old, but hey, it's like my in-laws and my parents back in the 50s. That's like me back in the 70s and 80s. So time waits for no man or woman. So DJ, cool. My buddy's father does that. He actually does it for cruise-ins, the car cruise-ins. We have a bunch of them around here, like the Dairy Queens and things like that. And his father actually does the DJing at these car events. So they have a good time with it. I think they crank the music a little too loud, but they have some fun. They really do. And what they do is they have the quizzes of what the song was and who sung it. And I always get it right. I'm very good about that. I have a big collection of 45s for my jukebox. So most things from the 50s and 60s, I have a copy of for my jukebox. So anywho, what else is going on, guys? Blue Lodge, what you working on? Anything good? Small Engine Nation, guys. Thumbs up, guys. Thanks for all the support you've been giving me. Trying to check out some of the videos over there. I tell you, these Small Engine Nation guys do it right, boy. They get online and you see 3 or 4 different videos all at once, people talking to each other, headsets on, and that's too high tech for me. I'm old school. But it sounds like those guys have a lot of fun with their small engine go-karts and mud tractors and things like that. It sounds like a lot of fun. I just wish I had a big plot of land where I could do stuff like that. Where I am, it's not city, it's not country, though. It's more converted farms where they built houses back in the 50s, but on postage stamp sized lots. So you really can't do too much. I'd like to have more land so I could plant a huge garden. I love gardening, but hey, that's okay. My small engines keep me busy. I went from cars to tractors because of size requirements. When I got married and bought this house, it was so small I really couldn't fit cars in there. So I started with tractors. So they take up a lot less room. High school in 65. Oh my God. You bring up memories. Hollywood Nights, the movie. Halloween Night, 1965. I love that. It's my favorite movie. I love that movie. That must have been phenomenal back then. Ugh. Muscle cars were just starting, leaded gas. If you got in trouble, the cops just brought you home instead of throwing you in jail. The good old days. Now, today, you look at somebody the wrong way, they throw you in jail. Crazy. The good old days. You went home and your father tanned your butt and you didn't do that again and you just had a good time. Not like today. Picking up and delivering riders. Yeah, that's all right. I say pick them up, deliver them, cha-ching, make the money. I just delivered that Toro push mower. The same customer, I delivered her Craftsman tractor yesterday that the ex-husband tore apart, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or not, but he threw away the screws and drained all the oil out of the equipment. I don't know. Did he do it on purpose? I don't know. But luckily, they didn't try running it. Thankfully, the fuses were blown and things were such that it couldn't run because they would have thrown the rods. So thankfully. Yeah, good old days, I tell you. Yeah, I used to talk to my dad about that when he was alive, and my father-in-law when he was alive. They used to really cruise up and down the streets and stuff, and good times, good times. You know. What else is going on? Three guys. So we got James, we got Blue Lodge. Who else is here? There's one more person out there. Someone's got to be chiming. It's got to be Nikki, because Nikki. Let me see. 5 hours difference. It's 10:15 out there in Ireland. So he's got. But actually, it's a Sunday night, so maybe he's getting ready for tomorrow's work. He could be catching up. Maddie, I don't know where Maddie is today. It was kind of a weird day weather-wise here. It was cloudy in the morning, dark cloudy, then it got sunny, then it rained, then it got cloudy again, windy. Now it's getting cold. They're saying tonight we're going to have a frost. It's going to get down to frost weather. So a lot of people that went ahead and started their plantings early, you're going to have to cover them up because they said a good frost is going to pull through tonight and it'll kill a lot of things if you don't have them covered up. So anyone in the Northeast that planted a lot of stuff, cover them up tonight. You know, either burlap or something. Cover them up. Keep them warm. You know. Yeah, Maddie. I'm trying to think. He did the 268 stuff last night. I don't know if he'll be on tonight. I hope he is. I enjoy his chats. Hopefully this week I will get caught up, and I'm actually going to have to start refusing work because I got to get that saw apart and done for the get together. 3 weeks left. I mean, it's coming fast, and I really have to get it going. And maybe I'll just have to say no to some of my customers or put them off for 1 week. So I'm fortunate. The place that I work, we have every other Friday off. We work 9-hour days instead of 8. So I actually work 10 hours usually during the day. But as long as we put in 80 hours in a 9-day period, we get the 10th day off, which is every other Friday. So that helps. And it's a way for my company to entice engineers and good people because having every other Friday off as a 3-day weekend is nice. I mean, who do you know that has that? Plus vacation, plus holidays. I mean, I thank God every morning I get up and say, I got a great job, great company. So yeah. And then of course I come home and do small engines for the rest of the night. So, you know, what started as a hobby is really just, I enjoy it. I love it. I love fixing things. I love solving problems. When someone comes over and says, hey, what's going on with this? I chomp at the bit. I don't care if it's mechanical, electrical, hydraulic, whatever, transmission, who cares? I love it. I love fixing things. That's why they call me Mr. Fix It. But, trying to think. I've got a Skag in the driveway that's got a transmission, Peerless transmission with issues. I got to check on that. Hopefully it's just the keys and not the bevel gears. What else do I have? I got the 2 Mantis type tillers. I got to do those. I've got 2 saws that need work and then my saw. So there is work, and I have people calling me as well wanting, I have a Toro zero turn coming up. The guy wants me to go to his house about 25 miles away and do a tune-up for him and sharpen his blades. So it's one of those newer time saver zero turns with the Toro branded engine on them. I think it's Lucen that makes those engines. Lucen, I think, something like that. They make them for Toro, but they're decent engines. They're not bad. They're all, we call them Chondas, right? The Honda clones, Chondas, Chinese Hondas. But they seem to work okay. You getting real busy, Blue Lodge? It sounds like you are. Oh, Talladaga's on? How many laps left, James? I didn't even think about that. I should hit. Let me hold on. I'm going to record it. Are we close to the end? Usually they end about 6 o'clock. Huh. That's interesting. Forgot about that. Yeah, the big one. There's always the big one. 5 laps left. Holy crap. Let me turn it on. Let me see what's going on here. Hold on. Let me see. Yeah, you got to watch the big one. There we go. 37. Oh, wow. That paint job almost looks like the old Tide car with the orange with stripes. You know, it's funny. Oh, wait, what happened to his rear end? Holy cow. Front and rear. I don't even know who the drivers are anymore. There's so many new kids out there. You know, ooh, bang the wall. Then bang the rear. Ooh, wow. 95 got him good. Wow. Looks like 95 took a good hit himself. Holy cow. Oof. Like you said, James, the big one. Well, yeah, that was a really big one. There was only 3 cars, 2 or 3 cars. The big one's when they have 12, 14 cars. But 5 laps to go, you're going to see the last 2 laps. It's always going to be that. All right, what do you got? Troy built pony with a 19-horse Briggs. It wants to choke down and die when blades engage. Deck completely redone. Governor adjustment. Is the governor adjusted? Now, you say 19 horse. Is that an opposed? Is it just a 19-horse overhead single cylinder? What is it? Which Briggs is it? Pony, that would probably be a single cylinder overhead valve Briggs, right? With the triangular looking rounded shroud on it with the air cleaner that looks like a rectangle with a little triangle on the side of it. I think that's what you're talking about. Yeah, I would try governor first. Make sure the governor's adjusted properly. Chokes down. Yeah, that sounds like governor. The governor linkage isn't adjusted properly on that. You got to watch too. If it's the engine I'm thinking of, make sure that the choke is fully off when you're running it, because that linkage, sometimes you have to push it all the way up and then it flops the choke open or closed, and then you have to pull it back to the high setting. Make sure it is opening up that choke, because when you pull it back to what they call the rabbit setting or the high setting, sometimes it doesn't, and you have to bend the linkage a little bit to make sure it pushes the choke arm and lets it come back. So make sure the choke is fully released, because that'll run rich and start coughing and belching and all that stuff. But it sounds like governor, though, because the governor, that's its job. It's there to compensate for load. So once it's under a load and the RPMs drop, the governor flyweights come back out and pull the throttle back up. So make sure the governor's adjusted properly. Make sure the governor's springs are good. Make sure all the linkage is correct. So it's kind of a problem with those engines. And another big problem, yeah, definitely, I would say governor, because that's how it reacts. The governor's supposed to react. But you have to watch, too, because some of those engines, guys have a tendency to over-rev them. I mean, especially kids that use them for go-karts and things like that. They take off the governor. They just over-rev the hell out of them. But if you over-rev them for whatever reason, the governor gear, it's plastic. It's the splasher. It's plastic gear. They do shred, okay? And if the governor's not working properly, it won't. Under load, it'll just die. It happens a lot with snow blowers when they don't adjust the governor properly. You hit snow and then it just dies out on you. So if you have a picture of it, I could show you how to hook up the linkage. But basically, you pull the throttle to full throttle, and then you rotate the governor in that same direction, okay, and the governor shaft, and then you lock everything down. So that way it can't go past what full throttle dictates. All right. If you do it the other way, it'll lock. It won't do anything. So you know you have to go in the right direction. So the throttle shaft turns in the direction of the throttle arm when you throttle it to full throttle. So look at the governor arm, look which way it's moving when you full throttle it, and take it, hold that linkage at full throttle, and loosen up the governor arm bolt, and then turn the shaft, the governor shaft that's coming out, and make sure it is all the way in that same direction. Sometimes if they're not all the way, it won't work properly. So make sure it's done correctly. That's a simple way all governors basically work the same. So you got any questions, Ken Small Engine at AOL, will be glad to talk to you about it. What else? Oh, caution, right? I'm looking at Talladega. It looks like they're in the car with somebody, Ford driver. But oh, he got old, huh? Wow. I love it how all the drivers now are announcers. Right? What do they say? Those that can drive do, those that can't announce. That's funny. Oh, let's see. Yeah, try it out. And you got any problems, let me know. But usually, once the governor's adjusted properly, as long as the governor isn't broke, then you should be in business. And those governors, even if they're broke, easy to change. And the governor's like $20. You know, take you an hour to take the engine out, put it back in. It's very simple. One thing on those engines, the 14 and a half all the way through the 19, they have issues with the compression release. Most those engines, people will turn the key and hear brr, brr, brr. They'll change batteries, they'll change starters, thinking it's stuff like that. Check the compression release first. If you ever have those issues, take off the valve cover and make sure that the intake valve is getting bumped just before it reaches the top of the compression stroke. If you don't see the rocker arm bump when it's coming up to compression, you know the compression release is trash. I don't care how many batteries or starters you put on it, not gonna start correctly, and you're gonna wear out starters. So, anywho, 6 to go. Who? Joey Logano. Yay, Logano. He lives 17 miles from me in Norwalk, Connecticut, right down the street. 17 miles, right down the Merritt Parkway. So, yay, Joey. But looks like a big cleanup going on. Ty Dillon, that's who they're showing on the screen. Big Bird. Yeah, he does look like a dork. He really does. But you know what? You ever see his girlfriend? Hey, I'll call me Big Bird. Give me a girlfriend like that. How's that? Anyway, I usually, Kyle Busch is second. I usually cheer for Kyle because he's just one of those, balls to the wall driver, do whatever it takes. I mean, wreck your brother if you have to. I want to win the race type driver. So I like Kyle Busch. He's pretty good. Who's dad? Busch or Logano? Who do you hate, James? Hate's a tough word. Who do you hate? Logano or Busch? Logano. Well, the silver spoon, I guess, He's from LaJoie's neighborhood. Back when you had Don LaJoie, actually ran stock cars in Norwalk. When we had the Danbury Fair Mall here in Connecticut, or Danbury Fair Raceway in Connecticut, you had a guy named Don LaJoie, and his son, Randy LaJoie, who you're familiar with, used to race. And then I guess his son started racing too. But it all started with his father, Don, back in the 50s and 60s with stock cars. I think we used to call them modifieds. But then they tore down the racetrack. In fact, the racetrack that LaJoie's father raced at is now what's called the Danbury Fair Mall in Danbury, Connecticut. And that racetrack, before they tore it down, the last thing they did was film the movie Arthur. If you ever noticed the movie Arthur from 1980, Dudley Moore drove around a racetrack. That's the Danbury Raceway. They did that a few weeks before they tore it down. So just a funny story about that. But Truex, Martin Truex, yeah, he's doing okay. Yeah. He's a clean racer. He does okay. Yep. But it's funny. I watched some of the YouTube videos about how they used to cheat years ago, and funny stories, between Petty's and Smokey Yunick and all those guys. Just some of the stuff they did. The funny story I heard was about Smokey Yunick when you're trying to bend the rules, and the only rule they had about fuel line is that it had to be, what the heck was it? I think you were allowed 15 feet of fuel line to get from your fuel tank to the carburetor. Well, 15 feet, he used 2-inch ID fuel line and carried an extra, what was it, 2 gallons or 3 gallons of fuel. So, hey, smart guy. He bent the rules. He knew how to play the game. So I guess that's the way it was. Then another story you hear about Petty, when they would acid dip the fenders so they were tissue paper thin, and a rules official came over to his car, leaned on it, and caved in the fender. The fender just caved right in. And he's like, no, 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 no. I don't think so, boys. So all the ways they used to cheat back then, that was funny. Interesting stories. 6 to go. You're going to see all the crashes now, James. 6 to go. I guarantee you're going to have at least 2 crashes. It'll probably go, what is it? White, yellow, green, or something like that, whatever they call that, where they have the couple laps to go, and then you'll have 2 crashes again. That's always what happens at Talladega. You get all the guys drafting. You're going to have 2, 2, and 2. They're all going to be on each other's butts, and then you're going to get the big crashes again, like it always happens. So, but that's Talladega. Super Speedway. That's what they do. Everybody watches it for the big wreck. They don't care about who wins or loses. It's just watching the big wreck. So, but hence, that's Talladega. Green, white, checker. There you go. Yeah. Yep. Cool racetrack, though. Nice aerial shots from the blimp. But Stenhouse, he's not still dating Patrick, is he? Wasn't Stenhouse dating Danica Patrick for a while? They were, anyway. All right. Any other questions from anybody? We still got the same people here. Does that take care of you, Blue Lodge? Because I'll help you whichever way I can. Smithfield. Smithfield car. That's getting me hungry. I think a sausage when I see Smithfield. Yep. Oh, there's a guy by me talking about food. There's a guy by me with a truck called 900 degree pizza truck. And he literally has a 900 degree, I think it's a gas fired oven. He'll cook your pizza in under 5 minutes. So if you call up and order something, you better be there within 5 minutes or else it'll be cold. So I'm driving, I'm about 3 miles from him, and I order. And he says, 5 minutes. I said, okay. I was there in 4 minutes, 52 seconds. He had it in the box and he handed it to me. I mean, this guy is unbelievable. It's a nice char, nice thin crust. I got a white clam pie. Unbelievable, this guy. If you're ever up my neck of the woods, 900 degree pizza truck. Guy is awesome. There's the wreck. Oh, 10 pushed him. Interesting. It's amazing, those guys with all the roll cages and everything else that they get shook up, I'm sure, but must give them a little bit of a headache after a jolt like that. Unreal. All right, back to small engines. What else can we talk about? I'm trying to think. What else am I working on? Oh, I started out that thing yesterday with my favorite tools, whether they be tools to fix stuff or just tools to help me out. I can do another one of those in a couple of days. Another one thing I'm going to do tomorrow, I think I'm going to do one on fuel filters and oil filters, because a lot of people have been asking me questions about, especially fuel filters. And I'm trying to tell people to stay away from the ones you see at the flea markets that don't have hose barbs on them, because without the hose barbs, I've had some customers where they'll drop off a tractor to me and it looks like the fuel filter is hanging on by about 1/16 of an inch with the hose clamp, the spring clamp, because there's no barb. There's no way to hold the thing on there. And I've seen even guys like Donnie Boy in some of his videos actually use those filters that don't have the barbs on them. And you got to have the barb. That's the whole reason how the clamp works. The clamp compresses the rubber so it can't make it over the barb, so the hose will stay on. I mean, you're talking fire and brimstone if those things get off, pal. Oof, you got to have barbs on the fuel filters. Yep. Yeah, like I said, I'm having fun with it. I can only use the phone when I do the recordings, but having this Chromebook here, I can do live streams now. You don't need the 1,000 subscribers to do live streams, because this is considered a laptop, even though it's a Chromebook. So it's not a mobile device. So I can still do live streams. And this one here, it's on sale, mail order. If you go to Best Buy, I got it for $179, on sale from $249. My lead man at work just bought one, same exact one, $159, but mail order. He has to wait a couple weeks to get it in the mail. But still, $159, that's cheap. That's like the price of a cheap phone. And you get a nice 15.6-inch screen. You could do live streams, and I could actually read green. There you go. Oh, speaking of that, green, 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 and all that, I hear Waltrip is hanging it up finally. No more boogity boogity. I can't stand when he does that. I want to just choke myself when he does that. That and his hair dye. I mean, you know what? Go gray, Daryl. You're an old man. Okay, enough with the dark brown hair. You know, Unbelievable. All right, there we go. I love that high bank at Darlington. That is cool. That is definitely cool. I was at Daytona one time. We walked up the side bank. Was it 30-degree or something? You can't even stand up. You want to fall over because there's so much banking. And these guys are doing 200 miles an hour on it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, somebody smoked. What is that? Who was that? Somebody smoked. He's okay. They put the yellow out? Nope. Still green. Oh, that's good. 3 to go. Elliott. Chase Elliott? He's in the lead? Uh-oh. Where'd he come from? Elliott, Bowman, Priest. Who are these people? Holy cow. Where's Kyle? 10th. Oh, my God. 11th. Kyle, you're killing me. Where's your guy, Truex? Is he out there? I don't see. Oh, my God. They're dropping like flies. What's going on? People running out of fuel? They're changing places like they're changing underwear. My God. It's back forth, back forth. Crazy. It looks like the top 5 or 6 or 7 are consistent, but the rest of them are going crazy. Wow. He's out. What happened to him, James? He get knocked out or just trouble? Ooh, 17. Who hit the wall? Now the caution will be out. Watch. Fine. Oh, no. Final lap. As long as he crosses the finish line, right? Final lap. Yeah, there's no damage. There's no cooling on the track. Yeah, they'll do it. Chase Elliott. No kidding. He's going to take it? There's got to be a wreck. There you go. All right. Darlington or Talladega. Got to have a wreck. 2-car, 3-car, 4-car. There's the yellow. But yellow in the final lap. Is it going to count? Or now they're racing back to the finish line to get position. Yeah. James, typical Talladega, right, buddy? Typical Talladega. They froze the field, it looks like. I see it. Although it looks like places are changing. But I think, don't they have to freeze the field when the caution's out? Or do they get to go back to the finish line to get a better place? Huh. Oh, the last wreck he was out? Yeah. Unofficial. Yeah, there you go. Chase Elliott. Hey, good for him. Young kid. That's Bill's kid, isn't it? Isn't it what is it? Dawsonville Bill's son? Dawsonville Bill from Dawsonville Elliott. I think that's his kid, isn't it? I'm not too up on the newer drivers. Chase Elliott, Bowman, Priest, Henrik, Logano 5th, Kurt Newman. I met Newman one time. Ryan Newman. He had a sponsor up our way, and they brought him by our shop to just come and take a look at our machine tools. Nice guy. Although it looks like he's a coat hanger with his shoulders. It looks like he's a coat hanger hanging on the rack. But, ooh, look at that wreck. Holy cow. Wow. 42. That was a heck of a wreck. Wow. Look at the guy doing his arms. Wow. Look at that. The people are 20 feet away from it. 200 miles an hour flipping through the air. Unbelievable. Let's see. No more racing. Texas, what's he say? Hold on, Blue Lights. Texas Motor Speedway this weekend. Swap meet. They play racing sounds. Neat. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it makes it sound like you're right during a race. That sounds pretty cool. All right, the caution's out. Who was where? Oh, 9. Isn't that Bill Elliott's old number too? I think he was 9, wasn't he? Green, 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 go yellow. No, still green. Yeah, he was in the lead. So, like you said, James, they freeze the field as soon as it hits yellow, and that's the order since they were on last lap. So, is what it is. So, somebody, a little Rubbins Racing. I love that from Days of Thunder, right? Robert Duvall, Rubbins Racing. Yeah, 9. That's Bill's old number, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, when he had the red car, all the Thunderbirds. I remember when he cracked, was it 200 miles an hour? Then they were trying to condemn all the cars and things and start to do the restrictor plates and all that stuff. They're going too fast. So, but I just like it how most of them still do the old Alan Kulwicki Polish victory lap, going around backwards. I remember when Kulwicki was racing; he was a hell of a driver. Hell of a driver, Alan Kulwicki. Nice to see when the privateers can make a name for themselves. You know, Yep, grab that flag. There you go. All right, Blue Lodge. Yeah, let me know how you make out. My email's kensmallengines at AOL. You got any questions, give me a call. If you want to send me a picture of what you got, I'll take a look at it. If I can help you in any way, I will. No problem. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Looks like it's going to be just you and me, James. I don't know if anybody else is on. Let's see. Just got a text from someone, customer, former coworker, who's about 30 miles away. She wants me to make a house call to start her push mower. Oh, I don't know about that, but we'll see. Yeah, Chase. That is Bill's kid, isn't it, James? I think it's Bill's kid. Money, money, money. Well, remember when he won the $1 million bill from Dawsonville? I remember that. He won the $1 million. What did he win? The Triple Crown or something? They gave him the $1 million, or was it just $1 million race? But I remember 1988, I think it was 88 or 89, when he had the Ford Thunderbird and he won. I remember that. Yeah. Hendrick Motorsports. You got an Elliott with Hendrick? That's like oil and water, isn't it? Ford and a GM guy? Holy cow, driving a Chevy? Wow. I never thought you'd see an Elliott in a Chevy. Wow. Yeah, Winston Cup. Remember the old man with the beard, the blonde-haired guy with the beard that always handed out the trophies? I always wonder who the hell that guy was. Every time you'd have it, he'd have the Winston sign. He'd hand out the trophy to you, shake your hand, and walk you into victory lane. He had long, flowing blonde hair and a beard. He was the Winston guy. He would always bring you into victory lane. I remember that growing up. Let's see. Alex Bowman. Who the heck are you? Another Chevy. Interesting. Too bad the Camaros don't look like Camaros anymore. Even the Mustangs don't really look like Mustangs. The Challengers look like Challengers. That's the only one that really looks like a real car nowadays. The rest of them just look like spaceships, And Toyotas. Who would have thought Toyotas in NASCAR? Come on, James. Toyotas? The great American sport, Toyotas? Okay. Crazy. Let's see. Yeah, it's supposed to be a Camaro. Doesn't even look like a Camaro. I don't know. Looks like a shoebox. Everything for the sake of aerodynamics. You want to sell your vet? Go do it on Barrett Jackson. They get 10% premium. You get a couple $100,000 for it if it's what you say it is and in nice shape. There'll be some idiot willing to pay ridiculous money for it just to be on Barrett Jackson. So this is the last wreck, I guess, here. Ooh, it wasn't too. Oh, there you go. 24. They got Jeff's old number. Interesting. I tell you, my boss has a what is it? The Charger Hellcat. Yeah, scary fast. Another friend of mine bought one of those demons, and you could do 8-second quarter miles. It's ridiculous, right from the factory. 8-second quarter mile. When I was growing up, if you did an 11-second quarter mile, you had a rocket ship. But yeah, 8-9-second quarter miles from the factory. Drive 16-year-old kids. You're giving them a license to kill themselves with these cars. It's crazy. Crazy. Unreal. Hey, Nikki's back. What's going on, brother? Back to the grind in the morning. Yeah, we got to say our prayers for James. Keep him going. Hopefully, the infection gets knocked out in a couple of days. Good thing you got internet, James. You get to do some surfing. What's up, Nick? You getting ready to go to bed? Because it looks like it's about what, quarter to 11 over there. Getting ready to get ready for the morning, I guess. I don't know if you saw it, Nick. I think you did. I put that video out about the noodle filter in the tank of the Kohler. I tell you, the next time I work on one of those engines, it's the first thing I'm going to rip out of there. And I've done a bunch of them. I've probably done half a dozen of those this year, and I never had a problem because normally what happens with those engines is the fuel tanks leak out where the gas cap is. They actually dribble fuel like crazy. And Kohler did not do a recall. They had a service bulletin about it, but they will not pay for the tanks. Um, they'll install them for you if you pay the $40 for the tank. They'll install it because it takes 2 minutes to install it. But the dealers, they won't honor it and give you a free tank. So I actually replaced one of those a week ago for one of my coworkers. Uh, it wasn't the fine mesh as much as it was twisted. So it was twisted, restricting the flow. So what I actually did was I took a cup and I measured in time how long it took to have a certain amount of, like an ounce or two fill up with the filter in there, that filter, and without. And without was 3 times faster. I said, okay, it's a restriction. So I put on the white Briggs inline filter, which is a 75 micron filter, which is about 3/1000 of an inch holes in there. And the filter 75 micron should be fine. I know they recommend the red ones that are 150 micron if you're gravity feed, but for this thing, the tank is literally 6 inches away from the carburetor, and the weight of the fuel, I don't think it's a problem. It filled up fine. So I put that in. It was $5 filter. I put that in, and I tell you, it ran 100% better. Unbelievable. Even the woman said to me when I delivered it about an hour ago, she said, it's never run so good. So, that's a good thing. It's just nice to find out these fixes. Hopefully people can see that. And, I try and title these videos so that someone's doing a search for that problem or that engine can find it. Because I know a lot of times it's all about how you do the search. If you don't search correctly, you'll never find it. Solutions can be out there for everything, but as long as you search correctly, you'll find it. So, gotta be up by Wednesday. What should she would like to get print? That's a good one, James. I like that. Sounds like Rodney Dangerfield now. You know, says, yeah, my wife said she wanted to have sex in the car. She told me to drive. Yeah, all that. That's funny. Oh boy. Title. Yeah, if you want the hits, yeah, you got to title them correctly. I know a lot of times when I do searches, I'll do just a internet search to see if there's something on a forum, but then I'll hit videos, and sometimes you don't really get a lot of video hits because people, like for example, if I did it on a live stream, who the heck would know to check my live stream for something? So I think from now on, I'd rather just do a 2 or 3 minute snip on a solution I've found, and I'll title it accordingly. So someone looking for a solution will be able to search for that particular engine or part or something like that. So, yeah, title it simple so that, they could do that. Oh, man. Oh, Chase Elliott takes the green flag or the checkered flag. Anyway. Oh, Hooters is a sponsor. I see. Okay. What else you got going, Nick? You working anything good? Just saws, or what are you doing? Every time I see your name, Nick, I think of Irish soda bread. My sister-in-law makes killer Irish soda bread with the raisins in it. I love that with a cup of coffee. I could go for that right now. That's what I like when St. Patty's Day comes up. I get my loaf of Irish soda bread. Love that stuff. Boy, they got oh man, look at the girls they got there this time. Were they Monster Energy drink girls? Unbelievable. Remember, James, you'll remember Miss Winston that they always used to have? Miss Winston. I don't think they have anything like that anymore, but used to every year, they would vie for that spot like the Miss America pageant. You're Miss Winston. You went around all the different racing events and stuff. It was a big honor. I remember that, all the different Miss Winstons, There's Jeff. Look at him. He looks like a little midget in there compared to the other guys. He looks like a little guy. I tell you, most of the drivers, if you ever been, I'm sure you've been to a NASCAR race, most of these drivers are tiny, tiny guys to be able to fit in the cars and have less weight. They're small. I'm amazed. Remember years ago, you had like Yarborough and remember, how about Benny Parsons? He was huge. You had people with beer bellies and stuff back then. If their sponsor was a beer company, they took advantage of it. Nowadays, these kids weigh 100 pounds wet. So I guess just to make sure that they have the least amount of weight where it's not, where it's necessary, so they can put weight in the car where it is necessary. They lose a lot of weight. So yeah, it's a heck of a wreck they're re-showing. Oof, unreal. Jesse, welcome. How's it going, brother? We were watching the Talladega race, James and I. James is back in the hospital. Prayers go out to him. He's got an infection. We all got to say the prayers for him. We'll get you going, James. The man upstairs will take care of you. I'm sure of it. But Kyle Larson, he looks like an elf. He just needs the pointy ears, and he'll look like an elf. Anyway, talking about different things, the race that's going on, a couple videos I put out today. Snowing. Where's that, Jess? Where are you? Where do they have snow? I know a few weeks ago in Chicago area and stuff like that, they had wicked snow, but where are you? Where are you, Jess? I love snow, though. I actually look forward to snow every year because I like playing in it. Sometimes help others with repairs for handicap. That's why I do it. I mean, I do it because I enjoy it, but I'll be honest with you. It's been so busy the past few weeks. I don't have time to do anything. My house is going to hell. I just stained my house about a year ago, and it already looks like it needs, help. So I got to get out there so the wood doesn't degrade. I put new cedar clapboard on my house, and I want to make sure I can get to it. But North Dakota. Oh, okay, North Dakota. Yeah, you're in that snow belt for sure. For sure. Wow. So what do you guys get? About 4 months a year of good weather, and the rest is either cold or snow? So I remember I went up to Portland, Maine about 2 or 3 years ago for work, and it was May, and they were just getting rid of the snow piles that they would put in like empty lots. They would make these 100-foot high snow piles, and by May, the snow finally melted off. So it was pretty cool. It was like 80 degrees out, and they had snow piles. So yeah, because I know in towns like that, they have those portable heater units that melt the snow so that you could wash it down a sore or something, because they got to get rid of it, especially like New York City and places that they don't have anywhere to put it. They're not letting them dump it into the East River anymore or anything like that in New York. So they have these portable melters with gas-powered boilers on them so they could load it into tanker trucks so they could haul it off and dump it somewhere. So big business in that too, snow melting, big business. So I might get 4 paint jobs in a year. Oh my God. Yeah, I do 8 in a weekend, basically. This weekend, at least 8. But that's in addition to my full-time job. I mean, I still work 40, 50 hours a week too, and I do it on the side. I mean, it's nice to have, money in your pocket, but I don't know. It gets old fast too, and then some people depend on you to fix their stuff. And I had one guy came over the other day, like he owned me. Oh, I need this. I need this. I'm like, so, I mean, I need my free time, and, I'll do it when I do it. Go to the dealer, wait 4 months. That's why people come to me. I usually act fairly fast, but you know what? I have my life too. So even though I love small engines and I love problem solving, if I have something to do here, it has to get done. So anyway, they're dumping melted water with tank. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I get up at 4:45 usually, and I'm usually I'm in work by 6, and I get out at 4. So then, I get out. Well, sometimes I'll leave 3:45. I get home by 4. Usually I'm home between 4 and 4:15. But then the first thing I do when I get home, I make myself a sandwich, have a glass of water or something, turn on the tube of whatever I recorded from the night before if I want to watch something. Spend about an hour doing that, and then off to the shop downstairs. So, you do listen, Nick. I should I should introduce you to my wife. No, just kidding. Yeah, the way it works around here is people that know me just drop stuff off in front of my garage, leave me a note, or they text me. So, in fact, you hear my phone beeping now. That's one of my former coworkers. Up. Oh God, everybody's texting me. They want me to fix their stuff. Nice to be popular. Oh, I don't want to answer this guy. Anyway, sometimes people will text you all hours of the day and night to fix their stuff. Oh, when a well makes a mess, they load it into an open top. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Steam. Yep, absolutely. I've seen them use the Steam too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, hopefully, James, when you get to be your age, hopefully you don't owe too much. Hopefully it's now in a retirement fund so you can enjoy yourself or in a few more years, That's the goal, get to a point where when it's retirement age, the bills are paid and the kids are on their own and you can enjoy yourself for whatever time is left. So we'll see. I got another 10 years to go before that happens. So we'll see what happens. Oh, we got the only upside. Yeah. Well, it's funny. The guy who taught me small engines, one of the guys, his name is Myron. Love this guy. He just turned 89 this month, and I've known him for 19 years that I've been doing this, and 19, 20 years. And I tell you, he acts like he's 20. He always has a project going on. He's always fixing something. He's just the nicest guy. Salt of the earth. And he's taught me a great deal about these small engines. And I help him when I can. If I'm around, I'll buy him lunch or take him to lunch or help him out with a repair he's working on or something. So, and it's funny. He said to me about a year or so ago, "I hate two strokes. They're messy and oily and nasty. I'm not going to work on them anymore." So he had a chainsaw. Someone brought him a McCulloch, and I helped him fix it. So, but make a lot of good friends doing this thing. I tell you, when you talk about engines, tractors, and power equipment stuff, real good people. I must say, the majority of the people you meet that deal in power equipment and engines and stuff like that, usually very, very nice people. I can't say that. Certified YouTube. Okay, just imagine the way it was 30 years ago when you had, Chilton's manuals and Briggs and Tecumseh manuals, and you had to rely on your local shop, and it cost money. A lot of guys didn't tinker on their own. So, uh, selling the business in June. What's the business, James? I don't know if I ever asked you that. What is the business? What do you guys do? What does the Faust family do? Yeah, Encyclopedia YouTube. I tell you, I love YouTube. I've always liked YouTube. Uh, yeah, look at that Camaro on TV, James. It doesn't even look like a Camaro. It looks like a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica with that light going across. Doesn't even look like a Camaro. Six semis and freight brokerage. Cool. Nice. Nice. Hopefully there's good money in it. Don't come to our state though, because now they're going to toll everybody. I'm going to drive 6 miles to work. I'm going to have to pay a toll because they want to give all these entitlements to everybody and pay for it with tolls. So, yeah, imagine that 6 miles driving to work, and I'll have to pay a toll every day. But that's our new governor. That's why they call Connecticut the taxi to death state. And if it's not bolted down, it gets taxed. Actually, even if it is bolted down, it gets taxed. So crazy. Yeah, the map books. I still have those books, those yellow and white. I forget the name of it. They were yellow and white. And every county in the state, in Connecticut, I think there's 7 counties, but every county, I live in Fairfield County, but every county had its own, Nordstrom. They were called Nordstrom maps. And every county had its own Nordstrom map, and you get them at the gas station. And every single street, it was a street map, and every single street was in there. It was great. And I used to use that when I first started small engines. Um, Even though there was internet, I didn't have any GPS because GPS was expensive back then. So I used a Nordstrom's uh, or no, not Nordstrom, Hagstrom. I'm sorry, not Nordstrom, Hagstrom. 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 Hagstrom made street index maps, so you could look at where all the streets were. Um, but Yeah, I have a tendency to love Kenworth because the initials are KW, and those are my initials. So, and Kawasaki's because KAW, those are my first, middle, and last initials. So I'm privy to Kawasaki's and Kenworth's. So anyway, boy, yeah. Now that you have maps and GPS and all that stuff, it's hard to say when someone says I'm lost. How can you be lost? I mean, it's impossible for anyone to get lost nowadays. Wow, 5 Kenworths. A 69 Pete. Wow, that must be cool looking. That was 69. Wow, with big chrome grill, all that stuff on it. I like Peterbilt. The red oval. I like Peterbilts. They were always good tractors. They said it was the poor man's Kenworth, but Pete's were built well. I think they really were. Yeah, I like that. I think what was it? A friend of mine had a cab over Kenworth. Remember Moving On? Remember the TV show Moving On? With the that green conventional Kenworth. I love that show with Claude Aiken, I think it was, and another guy. Moving On back in like '78 when they had the CB craze. I remember that too. I had a Radio Shack CB with an static D104 lollipop microphone. Used to love the CB stuff back then. The old Breaker 19. That was fun. Ooh, Western Star. Are they still around? I remember Western Star. That was junk. 320-inch wheelbase V8 Cat 18 speed. Double clutching, right, James? You always got double clutch. They still double clutch everything, so you don't grind them. Or is it now automated, air shifted? Yeah, Western Star. The only Western Stars I remember were hauling junk, actually junk trailers, dump trailers for the junk for the dumps. They would use Western Stars. Never, yeah, just get the right RPM and boom, get it right in there. One thing I like about the big rigs too, and even at diesels in general, is the exhaust brakes. Going down an incline is, save the brakes by using the engine compression. That's pretty cool. Yeah, except to get rolling. Yeah. 600 horse Cummins, but what about 1,500 foot-pounds of torque? It's all torque on those puppies. What's it got? A 1071 supercharger on it? Yeah, Jake brake. Yep, absolutely. The old Jake brakes. Yep, yep. I'm trying to think. Are the newer tractor trailers turboed now, or they still use the Roots type blowers on them? Because I remember years ago, you'd always hear them whining with the GMC Roots type superchargers. You know, I think most things are going to turbos now. Everybody's going to turbo. I remember when turbos first came out back in the 60s and 70s with the turbo lag. We're like, oh, those are garbage. Now everything's a turbo. Turbos, turbos, quad turbos. Everybody loves turbos. Yeah, turbos. Yeah. So, well, I guess they've done away with turbo lag, so you can really take advantage of it. A friend of mine's got a newer Ford with the twin turbo V6, and I tell you, feels like a V8, and it's only a V6, and it's amazing. You can get all that horsepower and torque and still get 25 miles to the gallon. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I hate that fluid. That stuff smells like piss. Oh, that urea. Oh, my buddy's got a newer Cummins, and it gets like 8 miles to the gallon. His 24 valve, 20-year-old Dodge gets 20 miles to the gallon. The new one gets like 8. But then the dealer will avoid your warranty if you try and put a chip in it. Crazy. Yeah, there's guys that like doing that, starting up things that haven't run in years, especially old big trucks and power equipment, and even old cars and things like that. Yeah, that exhaust fluid, that's nasty stuff. Nasty stuff. And plus the exhaust temperatures. You can set the car and back on fire with the way the exhaust is in the back of some of these trucks. You know? Yeah, 86 Grand National. My buddy had an 87, 86.7 was the year. I had a Monte Carlo Super Sport. My buddy had a Grand Nash. Another guy had a Turbo Regal. Another guy had the Grand Prix. The Grand Prix. Another one had the GTO, and the other one had the Hurst Olds. All that same year, like 86, 87. All those same G bodies. That was fun. They sucked as far as power. I mean, the Grand Nash was great. That thing was fast. But all the rest of them, we had 180 horsepower out of a 305 V8. They were dogs. Quarter mile and 14.8 was a dog. But it was a heck of a looking car. Great looking car. The doors weighed a ton, though, on those G bodies. But they were good looking, very comfortable cars, I'll tell you that much. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it's smoked, that's for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to hit it. It's been how long? An hour. Oh my God, I've been on an hour. It's supposed to be a quick chat. All right. It looks like the sun may be trying to come out. It's time for dinner for me. It's about 6 o'clock here Eastern time. So going to let you guys go. Check out my videos. Hopefully, if there's anything you want to see, let me know. I'll do it. And thanks for chiming in. James, prayers to you, buddy. Hopefully everyone will be good. Get that infection taken care of. And we will talk to you guys soon. Everybody take care. See ya. Bye-bye.